Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of... Here we go. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of... Here we go. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind...
Welcome to the Dan and Dave Mindset. My name's Dan.
How you doing? I'm Dave.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's been exactly 1 month since the last time we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
As you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dave, what's on your mind?
This might sound crazy.
And I just met you.
That's right. But more and more, I'm just throwing this out there, not because I legitimately believe this.
Scientology?
Sorta.
Oh.
But my friend Larry put this video out there of this product you could like spray on anything. You use just like a
Oh, I think I know what this is.
and it would like repel anything like
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
That video
water,
blew my mind.
water, mud, mustard,
Mustard,
oil,
yeah.
anything would repel. And my immediate response to him was I posted it was like aliens brought this technology here. And it's comical to me because if you look at a lot of these like products or whatever that's going on these days, like to me, I think it's funny to think we got this from aliens.
The
You know what I mean?
advancements that humans have made seem too drastic.
Huh?
Our advancements are like too drastic for you. So, too advanced.
No, okay, sure. But not only that, I mean, I don't believe in the whole alien thing, okay? It's not outside of my thought process that they could actually exist,
Yeah.
but I
You
think...
don't think they've been hanging around?
I think it's... I just think it's funny how people... today, yesterday, many years ago, think that
Like the pyramids?
yeah, in comparison today, like back in the day, are like these pyramids. There's no way a man could have done this before.
That's
There's-
people today saying that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so today, and the same people today thinking that stuff that like is going to happen tomorrow think is not possible. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Especially today, where things in the past 30 years have been so. We've advanced so much in the past 30 years, where it's like
It's crazy.
people think it's like impossible.
I mean, we're very close to our cars driving themselves.
There's cars out there that do that, though.
Well, the cars that try to park themselves don't do a great job.
Right. But like, if you would have asked somebody like in the 1930s, hey, you see that big ball up there, that moon thing? One of these days, man, we should like go up there and check that out. People would be like, you're crazy. You know what I mean? And, like, be like, or in the 1800s, we'd probably hang you
All right.
for thinking something like that.
Yeah. In the 30s, you'd be like, did you realize that that's just a soundstage up there?
That's right. Well, in the 60s too.
That's when they proved it with their actual video on the soundstage.
Well, even now, people think that
Yeah.
it was a big
Yeah,
hoax.
It could be. I'm open to as open as you are to the aliens thing, which I'm about that open to it too. Like, I can't say that they're not out there. I don't believe that they've been around here at all. I'm still open just that much to the idea that maybe we weren't there. I've never been in a zero, gravity situation, so I don't really know what that's supposed to look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I see the footage and just be like, and they're saying that that's where it takes place, and I'll be like, okay, well, maybe that's true. I assume it is true. But I don't know. Could be fake. Well, see, like the thing with the pyramids, right? Growing up, little kid, even as a kid, I didn't really think aliens were around, right? Because they're presented like an ET. It's fiction, I know
Right.
it's fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it as a given that man at some point made the pyramids. Then as an adult, I hear scientists talking about and engineers we can't figure out how they did it. Maybe it was aliens, and I'm like, these adult people are thinking, since they can't figure out how it's done, they're arrogant enough to go to the point that no human could figure it out. If I can't figure it out, then, well, there's no way anybody could have figured it out. So it must have been, especially these primitive Egyptians.
Or desperate enough.
Right.
To look for to find an answer that they can't figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's something somewhere, there's this stone that's so perfectly round and smooth that computers can't do it. And they're so aliens, of course, did it.
Right, so if how do they know a computer can't do it if a computer can't do it?
Well, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is so perfect, a computer can't do it. So how do you know it's perfect if a computer... You know what I mean?
I just have to say, if you tried upgrading your computer a little bit, because I feel like maybe your computer could do it. I feel like my computer could do it.
How do you know what perfect is if you don't know what perfect is? You know what I mean?
You just blew my mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's so much of that. There's so much of that.
That's I'm serious though. If you were 10 years old and you're on the playground with your friends, and you guys are talking about something somebody heard about or something, and you're like, man, I can't figure out how to do it. Aliens must have do it. You get beaten up for being stupid. You know?
What kind of friends did you have growing up?
Well, I'm just talking about in other schools. I hear things.
Stuff you heard about, right?
Stuff I heard about. Seems like that would have happened. My school, we were, very peaceful. And it was a small place. We all knew each other's names. You can't go around just beating each other up. But I'm just saying, you would be definitely considered an idiot for believing that. You're if I'm like, hey guys, we're in history class. And I'm like, yeah, I heard, we can't figure out how to do it. And aliens must have done it. And it makes a lot of sense to me. A teacher would be like, ugh, just no. What's wrong with you? Go out in the hallway.
Yeah, they got those, I think it's Peru, where they have all these drawings on the earth. Is the only way I can describe it. But drawings are
it's just landscaping stuff
that you can only see supposedly from the air.
Yeah,
it's the only place you could see it.
Yeah, and they're like, how did they figure out how to do it?
Yeah, so
they had no concept of aerial photography and
right,
things like that. So how would they?
Right.
Why would they do it?
So it has to be a homing.
Yeah.
Thing or a landing strip. These perfect lines that go down, blah blah blah, all this other kind of stuff. I mean,
that's the thing about that kind of thing too. They're like, there's no way that these people could have possibly seen the results of what they did. So why would they do it? And since we can't figure out why they would do, what their motivation would be to do it, then we have to assume that they didn't do it. That it was in fact aliens, who of course did have an aerial view because they had spaceships. Mm-hmm. Why is this the go-to answer for anything?
Not only that, explain? But they have spaceships that basically can come down, and you know what I mean. I'm assuming if they're coming, they don't have to land like an airplane, right? So why do they need a landing strip?
I mean, as long as we're just
guessing.
If
they sit there and they're so sophisticated to come from outer space, they need some goofy-looking eagle to tell them where to land.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, seriously.
Yeah. I'd like to know.
I don't know where to go. Let's circle the earth till I see that one eagle-looking thing on the ground, and go down that piece of crap landing strip that they made for us.
Yeah, because let's face it, guys, they're pretty primitive, and they couldn't really handle.
It's we gave
them the directions to make asphalt, and they couldn't pull it off.
It cracks me up because you got these guys that are obviously brilliant. Obviously very, very smart, and they sit there and they talk like they're in kindergarten when they talk about this kind of stuff. And they say, they have all these technical terms or whatever, and they're like, but they need this eagle, to know where to land.
You're thinking so far outside the box that you put yourself in another box though, where you can't picture yourself, 300 years ago or whenever. and the way the world was and your surroundings, and you know, seriously, you really can't possibly fathom what your motivations for the things you would do back then would be, because the world was a completely different place. And you know, like, presumably in a civilization, they're starting to deal with people working together to get things done and be able to survive. And so there's got to be a few guys around that just don't have much to do with their time. I mean, look at the stuff we do all the time just to kill time. We talk about killing time all the time. Like, I'm going to go watch this movie. I'm going to go stare at this wall for a little while.
Why?
I have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about a time when there wasn't anything else to do. And if you had nothing better to do, maybe you'd be like, I'm going to make an eagle so big on the ground that we won't even be able to recognize it as an eagle from our vantage point.
And we don't care.
And that's cool.
That's right.
And let me tell you, and you know, like, this is the whole thing. There's some guy made this thing, and later he's talking to, like, they're having some celebration later, you know, around some giant fire or whatever, and they're roasting some animal. And he goes up to this girl and he's like, hey, guess what I've been doing the last year? So I took all these rocks, right? And
sit them up.
yeah, I set them up all over the place. And just trust me on this. But if you could get up high enough, you would see an eagle on the ground. And then she's like, marry me.
That's right. I want to have your kids.
Uh-huh. That's the Peruvian accent?
Is it?
I don't know.
You just gave me verification.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's bragging rights, man. Same thing with, like, same thing. Here's the thing about the aliens made the pyramids, right? So you got these aliens, they make these ships that can travel through space.
Well, the aliens made the humans make the pyramids. Isn't that what it is?
Is that what it was? I heard that they just made them themselves.
According to Stargate.
Okay. I mean, you got these aliens, they've got this technology, they made these presumably metal or some kind of, you know, polymer or something
Right.
ship or whatever that can travel through space, keep them alive inside of it.
Right.
And then they get down there and they make these giant pyramids out of completely primitive materials.
Right.
There's nothing in there. Like, these have been raided and gone through by architects and everything. It's all stone and wood and whatever. It's all, like, if aliens made it, why would they make it look so primitive?
Mm-hmm.
With the only thing not primitive about it being the actual construction of itself.
And not only that, but the locals are going to say, hey, I'm going to use that.
Right? Hey.
That is my tomb.
Yeah, like, oh, all the kings of Egypt are like close friends with the aliens, and they're like, hey, you know, if you're not going to be using the little pit area in there later,
Right.
can I just have my people put my body in
right.
there? And they're like, "Don't chunk, ah." And then that means, like, yes, thank you. Okay, go ahead. You know what I mean? That's an alien language.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, like, come on. How can so many smart people be so stupid? That's my question.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That's what I mean.
This is what I mean by, like, you're so far in a box that as soon as you can't figure out something, as soon as you can't decide what it could be, you go to aliens. Like, I can't explain this, and I'm really smart. I should be able to explain it.
Oh, other people go to God.
Yeah. And I can get behind that more, but I still don't think God made the pyramids. I think people made the pyramids. I think they figured out a way to do it, and I think that they were brutal enough with people to make their slaves make these things, you know? Like, I mean, I guess those blocks are pretty big, but you get enough logs out and you get a bunch of people that you don't care what happens to them. You know, if they die moving the set of logs up to roll that stone somewhere, who cares? You got a million of other ones.
The amount of money and time spent trying to figure out this crap,
Yeah.
what they could do with that instead of this. Like, how about feed, like, some people? How about feed the starving? Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a different.
The starving inhabitants of there.
It's
Are we
different.
getting too deep, too
Different-
heavy
let's
for
not
the
go
Dan and
there,
Dave
yeah,
mindset? We're going to solve world hunger on the Dan and Dave
That's
mindset
right.
today. We're going to do it in 30 minutes or
That's
less.
right. You heard us.
Yeah. You know, that's a great point, though, because if you could figure out how to build another pyramid, Who cares? What's the point?
Exactly.
What are you going to do with another pyramid? Put it up?
Nothing.
We put it up when we look at it. We're like, hey, that's a nice pyramid. I like the original better.
But still, with the whole drawings they do in the dirt and all that kind of, or whatever it was that like supposedly lasts forever.
Mm.
I don't.
First of all, they're not going to last forever.
Well, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'll bet there were a ton more that we can't even see anymore.
Yeah, but I don't. Like the whole thing of like people think like they're landmarks for like the aliens to land and all that kind. I'm like, are you?
Yeah.
I still have to go back to that. That's like, are you serious? These guys are like obviously have to be traveling across the like
At
universe
least from another planet.
at least through the galaxy.
Yeah.
And they need that crap on the ground to like figure out where to land.
I mean, we're talking about this is coming from our people who are not yet capable of going to another planet and hanging out there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out what aliens would do and how they would do things. Who could at least come down here and get us to do stuff for them. Like, we haven't been able to go anywhere where there's anybody else and get them to do anything for us. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty... And I don't know, like, these people are not... Their imaginations are interesting, but, you know, sci-fi writers have figured out cooler things for aliens to do with us and for us to do with aliens.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Most of it does involve enslavement of some kind, which is kind of an interesting commentary. Or just utter destruction.
That's why I like Signs.
Yeah.
The movie
they come down there
the movie
defeated by
Signs,
water.
and he's like, Mel Gibson's talking to his son. He's like, so, he's like, there's two things they're going to do. They're either going to come here, and they're going to like inhabit the planet, and hang out with us, or they're going to be aggressive. And I don't see either happening. If they've been around for, you know, at least recorded since like the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
If they haven't come and done anything, I don't think, you know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen. I mean...
But he was wrong, because they did come and attack.
Exactly. If they can come from outer space and come down here and do as they will...
Yeah. Right, at that point, their technology is so far advanced beyond ours, then what hope do we have?
Water.
Water.
Just throw water on them.
Throw a glass of water on them.
We're all set.
It's a minor insult in our culture. Just throw a glass of water in someone's
You're all
face.
done.
But for them,
The only
it's fatal.
The only disappointing part of that movie was that.
The whole, like...
A glass of water. Give me a break.
What if they'd come down on a particularly
Well,
humid
how do they
day?
survive? Everybody needs water.
All of us. Well, we don't know about these aliens. Weren't they, like, kind of insectoid?
They walked around. They had to have some kind of
I don't
fluid.
remember what they looked like. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they were, like, sand-based. What happened when they got hit with the water? They just melt?
Sort of, I guess.
With a little dry ice smoke coming out or something?
Yeah, kind of fizzled. Like the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
Throw a bucket of water on her, she's all done. I'm melting.
It's that easy. Be like,
Who knew?
really, just everybody.
This witch has been ruling your life for this long, and all you had to do was throw a bucket of water on her?
That's pretty.
How
that is
pissed
pretty
were they?
Right? Like,
Now Dorothy's all...
Dorothy comes back, she's like,
That's all I had to do. See?
she's like, it was actually an accident.
That's right.
I didn't mean to.
I accidentally fell on her with my house. Threw a bucket of water, and it's all good.
Yeah. All you guys had to do all this time is either drop something heavy on one of them or
I know,
drop
right?
a little water on
You
them.
got no bricks around here?
Yeah, really all we want to do is just, basically what we learned from science is if aliens ever invade or whatever, we just all move to Seattle. Or London.
Why Seattle?
Somewhere where it rains a lot.
Aye.
It'll be fine.
Does it rain a lot in Seattle?
Isn't it Seattle? Rains a lot?
Oh. How about we just camp out on the beach?
Yeah, and every time the aliens come up, just run
Jump
in the water. Be like, get back. I'm all wet. I'm going to hug you.
That's right. Like when the bees come.
Yeah.
Jump in the water.
That's what I do with horseflies.
Which actually doesn't work, but...
Doesn't it? But the bees dive in and sting you anyway?
Well, they're going to be waiting there for you. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. I've had to hang out down low in some water for a long time to get some horseflies to go away from me. I keep my head out, and
Horseflies are pretty vicious.
They really are. Oh gosh! And they land on your head anyway, and then you smack them, and they're like still hanging onto your hair. It's gross. Anyway, to get back to the whole point, though, you found this product. You saw this video for this product.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, you saw what I was talking about, the whole thing where, like, they spray this on there and, like, repels everything.
Uh-huh.
Like, you could sit there and, like, spray your phone with it and, like, dunk it into, like, a lake.
I saw them...
Come back up and, like, you're fine, it's all good. Like, what?
Didn't they dip something in, like, a bucket of paint and pull it out, and the paint just...
Anything.
Dripped off.
Yeah.
Like Rain-X on your windshield.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, just...
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop. It's gone.
It's like that stuff like that freaks me out. I'm serious. Like you like what? Why don't you just spray that on, like, I don't know, stuff like that. Like my imagination goes like way too far when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like just spray it on your car and like.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Invincible. Spray it on yourself. You don't have to worry about, like, anything.
Then all the sweat in your body just pills right back into your...
That's right. Or does it?
I don't know what happens.
Exactly.
Don't you would basically just expand as this water was retained until you exploded.
That's very interesting.
I think you would die.
Interesting, though.
That's interesting.
I wonder if they ever thought about doing that. Let me just spray it on this arm.
Let's try it on a person now.
Let's spray it on... how many animals did they damage on this product? Let's spray it on this fur and, like, throw eggs at it and...
We took a mouse, we held it by the tail, we dipped it in the solution.
For real, it
lasted for about 5 minutes.
So how does it go on? Because when they spray it, it seems like a mist.
Is that how they apply it?
It's
I thought it was like a 2-step process. You got to put this base thing on, then you put the other thing on.
See, that's the thing. I didn't see how they actually put it on. So there you go.
I thought it was like painted on. Maybe
it really
sprayed.
involved?
No, it was sprayed of some kind. Yeah, some
Had
kind
to be. Yeah, because they had it on a
sort of like a truck bed. Boots.
No, a toilet brush.
What? Really?
They literally sprayed it on a toilet brush. You're like, watch this toilet brush, and they pull it out of water, and it's like dripping, 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 dripping. And then when they sprayed it on, they pulled it out, and it was like nothing. Like the water just went, all gone.
It's so weird looking the way the water just falls off of there, too. It's like it doesn't even have a chance to get lifted out. It just in and out.
That's disturbing.
Like you didn't even put it in the water in the first place.
Something's not
It's
right
like
about
no ripples or anything.
You're messing with...
Physics.
You're messing with the natural order of things when you do stuff like that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I won't tell you you're wrong. I don't think you're right, though.
There's certain things you need to let go. Things should get wet. It's a good thing sometimes.
But sometimes it's not. In that case,
exactly.
This product steps
but
in.
You get wet, you dry off. Something you own gets wet, you dry it off.
I don't think you do want to apply it to yourself.
Well, something you get wet, something you own gets wet, you dry it off.
Well, let's say you're somebody who,
Your toilet brush, you can shake that off. Ain't no big deal.
Man, though, think about it.
On the rim, and you're done.
Because, it works on everything. So, there's not going to be anything sticking to it. 5 years later, you've had this toilet brush coated in this stuff. It looks brand new. You've seen a 5-year-old toilet brush. And it's gross.
All right, call me old.
You could eat off of this thing practically.
Call me old school, okay? Call me old school.
Except your food would just fall off of it.
This son I've had a thing with for a while. Like what do you call it? Vaccines, okay? Vaccines for certain things are good, okay? Like chickenpox, blah, 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 blah. But when you start making a vaccine for, like, everything imaginable, there's no point for your immune system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be a long time before we can come up with anything that compares to an immune system.
Yeah, you need to let the natural immune system do its thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you start, like, killing everything, then there's no point for the immune system. I think they already figured it out which leads to this thing.
What?
The whole
Z-Packs?
spray-on thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure they figured out with the whole antibacterial soap where you just like squirt it on your hands wherever you go. It's like not even a soap. It's just like
Yeah, now we have super bacteria. Or
a
something?
lather or whatever. And they got to the point where it's like, don't use that so much.
Yeah.
Because basically you're like killing your own immune system.
Yeah.
So like this thing, if you start lathering this thing over everything,
Then either
basically there's no point.
in things getting wet.
There's no point in things having a purpose.
So your concern is that we're going to create super water that penetrates the stuff anyway, gets these things wet anyway, and then things that are not coated with this are going to be completely screwed because they're going to be overtaken by super water, which is going to soak things so thoroughly that they're just utterly destroyed.
I have no idea what you just said. You're gonna have to repeat that.
I don't think it's a good idea. Well, so anyway, that's been the Dan and Dave Mindset. My name is Dan.
That was a deep one.
Was it?
I'm Dave.
It was
Peace. It's joking.